Hello, English learners. Welcome back to the Real English Podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Jack. We're so glad you're joining us for today's episode.
Definitely. So Jack, I cooked a totally new recipe for dinner last night.
Oh, really? What did your husband think of it?
Well, he tasted it gently, smiled, and said it was certainly unique.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Right? It sounded polite, but I knew he absolutely hated it.
That's a perfect example of what we call polite disapproval.
Exactly. And that's our topic for today's advanced lesson.
We're unpacking how people safely express negative opinions through seemingly nice words.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Why do we do that anyway?
I think we just want to avoid conflict and be socially diplomatic.
Good point. But this habit can be really confusing for advanced learners.
Oh, for sure. You might hear a nice word and think everything is fine.
Exactly. You really need to pay attention to the subtext and the tone.
Yes, mastering this skill helps you detect hidden criticism in everyday life.
It also helps you express your own negative opinions carefully at work.
Absolutely. Let's start by looking at some of these tricky words.
Sounds good. Let's head over to the vocabulary preview to learn more.
Subtext. So Emily, what does this word actually mean to you?
It's the hidden meaning behind the words we use.
Right? Like when you say a bad meal is unique?
Exactly. The subtext is that it tastes pretty terrible.
Have you ever missed the subtext in a meeting?
Oh, definitely. I once thought my boss liked my idea.
But they just called it a very interesting approach, right?
Yeah, I realized the negative subtext much later.
Diplomatic. This adjective describes being careful not to offend anyone.
I think it's a really necessary skill in advanced English.
Why do you think it's so important in this context?
Well, giving direct criticism can sound too harsh sometimes.
That's a really good point about English-speaking culture.
Right? So we use diplomatic words to soften the blow.
Like telling a coworker their confusing presentation is just different.
Yes, that's a very diplomatic way to express your confusion.
Backhanded. This is a really fun adjective for us to explain.
It really is, but how would you describe a backhanded compliment?
It sounds like praise at first, but it's actually insulting.
For example, saying that someone looks good for their age.
Ouch, yeah, that's a perfectly backhanded thing to say.
Have you ever received a backhanded compliment from anyone, Jack?
Someone once told me my new haircut was incredibly brave.
Wow, that's hilarious and honestly, a little bit mean.
Right. It definitely had that polite but hidden sting.
Now that we know our vocabulary, let's move to the dialogue. Well, that dinner was certainly an experience.
That's definitely one way to put it.
What did you really think of Greg's new recipe?
I told him it was very unique.
Right? I definitely caught the subtext there. You hated it, didn't you?
No, I didn't hate it. I was just being diplomatic.
You told him the flavor was surprisingly brave.
Yeah, well, it really was.
That sounds like a pretty backhanded compliment to me.
I meant it nicely. The chicken was literally purple.
Exactly. I really don't know what he put in it.
See, it was certainly unique. I didn't lie to him.
You're terrible. Next time, just say you're completely full.
Good point. I'll definitely try that next time.
Let's just hope there isn't a next time.
That's very true. We should offer to cook instead.
That was a really interesting dialogue, Emily.
Yeah, it was. People can be so polite when they complain.
Exactly. They use words that sound positive, but the meaning is completely different.
Right? We call that the subtext. Did you catch the subtext there?
I did. Subtext is such an important word for advanced learners.
What does it really mean, Jack?
It's the hidden message. It's what people actually mean, not what they say.
That makes sense. It happens a lot in everyday conversations.
Absolutely. What about the phrase, certainly unique?
Oh, that's a classic one. It sounds like a lovely compliment, right?
It does, but it usually means you think something is terrible.
Exactly. Have you ever used that phrase yourself?
Yes, just recently, my friend painted his living room bright orange.
Wow, bright orange? What did you say to him?
I just smiled and told him it was certainly unique.
That's so funny, very diplomatic of you.
Yeah, diplomatic is another great word we heard in the dialogue.
It means being careful not to offend people, right?
Totally. It's much better than saying his wall looks awful.
For sure. We also heard the phrase, backhanded compliment.
Yeah, that's a really useful phrase to know.
How would you explain it to our listeners?
It's a comment that sounds nice at first, but it actually contains a small insult,
Good point, like saying someone's outfit is surprisingly brave.
right? It really means they wore something weird or foolish.
Let's break down these vocabulary items properly now.
Sounds good. Let's give our listeners the full details. So, we just talked about finding the hidden meaning in polite English.
Right. Using subtext is a very advanced skill.
Exactly. Sometimes you just need to soften the blow.
Yeah, nobody wants to sound rude to their friends.
Have you ever had to do this recently?
Oh, for sure. A friend showed me her new painting.
Was it really that bad to look at?
It was just a very confusing piece of art.
What did you actually say to her about it?
I told her it was a bold choice.
That's perfect. It sounds like a compliment, right?
Exactly, but it definitely has a double meaning.
Let's look at how to use these patterns naturally.
Our first useful phrase is a bold choice,
You use this when someone takes a big, weird risk.
like wearing bright neon colors to a formal wedding.
Right, you can say, that outfit is a bold choice.
Or for business. It's a bold choice to launch right now.
I love that one. Another great phrase is an acquired taste.
Oh, I use that for food all the time.
Me too. My brother cooked a weird stew last week.
Did you tell him that you really hated it?
No, I said, this is definitely an acquired taste.
That's so diplomatic. It means you just need time to like it.
Exactly. You can also say, jazz music is a bit of an acquired taste.
Very true. What about when someone tries hard but fails?
That happens a lot. I usually say, I see what you were going for.
Oh, that's a classic. It praises the effort, not the result.
Right? Like if a friend tries a crazy DIY project,
You say, I see what you were going for, but maybe hire a professional.
yeah, exactly. Or at work with a confusing slide deck.
You could say, I understand the concept you were going for.
It keeps things friendly while still giving honest feedback.
These phrases are so helpful for navigating tricky social situations.
They really are. Try using one next time you need to be polite. Now that we have explored the subtext of those diplomatic, backhanded compliments, let's listen to the dialogue again.
Well, that dinner was certainly an experience.
That's definitely one way to put it.
What did you really think of Greg's new recipe?
I told him it was very unique.
Right? I definitely caught the subtext there. You hated it, didn't you?
No, I didn't hate it. I was just being diplomatic.
You told him the flavor was surprisingly brave.
Yeah, well, it really was.
That sounds like a pretty backhanded compliment to me.
I meant it nicely. The chicken was literally purple.
Exactly. I really don't know what he put in it.
See, it was certainly unique. I didn't lie to him.
You're terrible. Next time, just say you're completely full.
Good point. I'll definitely try that next time.
Let's just hope there isn't a next time.
That's very true. We should offer to cook instead.
That dialogue always makes me laugh, Emily.
Yeah, the purple chicken detail gets me every time.
I can almost imagine how bad it really tasted.
But Sarah handled the whole situation so smoothly, didn't she?
She really did. She used those diplomatic phrases perfectly.
Calling the food surprisingly brave is just brilliant.
It's true. It sounds nice, but it's totally a trap.
Now it's time to practice these expressions together.
That's a great idea. The tone is everything here.
Exactly. We want you to listen carefully and repeat out loud.
Pay close attention to the subtle intonation when you speak.
We're going to have Sarah read a few lines for you.
Get ready to practice your polite disapproval.
That's definitely one way to put it. I told him it was very unique. No, I didn't hate it. I was just being diplomatic. I meant it nicely. The chicken was literally purple. See, it was certainly unique. That's very true. We should offer to cook instead.
Great job practicing those lines, everyone.
Yes, well done. Nailing that subtle tone takes a bit of practice.
Thank you so much for joining us for this advanced lesson today.
We always love exploring these tricky language habits with you.
If you found this helpful, please take a second to like the video.
And be sure to share it and subscribe to the channel.
It really helps us grow and make more lessons for you.
We've got plenty more fascinating topics coming up soon.
Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye, everyone. Take care.